All right, everybody, I wanted to do a DC EU update today, and I want to talk about why I believe that the current state of the DC EU is going to keep the current Trinity in place. And I'm going to back this up with some proof. Now, I'm not going to have anything for you guys to really look at, but these things are easily verifiable. I've had a few people, one in particular in my comments that is always giving me a hard time, telling me how wrong I am, the Snyderverse is dead, I'm a Snyder cultist, and all kinds of stuff. And he knows who he is, and I am going to call him out. His name is, he's listed on here as one of the users, commenters. His name is Doc, okay? He's just DOC. And he's been going back and forth with me for the last week. And I basically told him if he wants the proof that he can easily go through my videos and he can see the stuff I posted. Now, I'm going to talk about why I think the current DC Trinity is going to stay in place. Now, he's telling me it's not going to happen and that Ben Affleck is done playing Batman. He keeps going back to what he said when he was done with The Flash, that he was putting the finishing touches on that character. But I'm going to talk about why I think even Ben Affleck is going to come back. First of all, let's talk about... Well, I'm going to talk about Snyder last. Let's talk about the Trinity first, and I'm going to talk about why I think Snyder is coming back at the end in some capacity. I don't know if he's going to be a director or not, but I'm going to talk about why these characters are going to stay in place. First of all, when they had this call last week, and you had David Zaslav out there, you have to watch the words that these individuals say very closely, because it's very telling. And they want to make sure they're doing stuff that isn't going to get them into trouble. And he specifically said, we have a 10-year plan. He called out the Trinity by the name Trinity. He knows the power behind these three characters. And he said they have a 10-year plan to grow upon and that they have done a reset. They have done a reset. Not that they're going to do a reset, but they have completed a reset. Okay? He never once said reboot. He never once said they're going to recast anybody. He just said that they have done a reset and that they did pivot and they're going in a different direction from the direction that we've been going in. Well, what's the direction we've been going in? Crap like Batgirl. Crap like the Gotham Knights TV series that was going to be on next year that has now been canceled as well. All this crap, the Supergirl spinoff, all this stuff that nobody asked for, that's not the heart of DC. We've had one Man of Steel movie, and then Superman has been shelved. Yeah, he was in Batman versus Superman, and he was in Justice League, but he has not been the main focus, not by any stretch of the imagination. And so it's crazy what's happening behind the scenes. They canceled all of the other garbage that nobody asked for. That's the direction change, that they're now going back into the original trajectory. And that's what I believe is happening. And here's my proof behind this. First of all, let's talk about Gal Gadot. She is Wonder Woman. She is not going anywhere. And there are even reports out there today that state that she is going to be here to stay, that she's signing a multi-film deal. She is going to be part of that 10-year plan. There's no question about that. If they were moving away from the Snyderverse and they were talking about a full reboot, none of these characters would be coming back. And on that note, you've got The Flash coming out that they're still dedicated to. You've got Aquaman 2 coming out. You've got Shazam 2, and all of those movies are now going to be next year. The only movie that's getting released this year is Black Adam. We're not going to get Shazam 2 this year. And so Black Adam is the only movie this year. And I honestly believe that we're going to see Henry Cavill back for the first time in Black Adam. And we've got all of that stuff going on. If they were moving away and they're going to be building a 10-year plan, are they going to wait 2 years to start that 10-year plan? That's not how it works. So with these movies coming out and these characters, they're going to still build upon what they have already started. So Gal Gadot's pretty much a shoo-in. Let's talk about Henry Cavill. Or not Henry Cavill. Let's talk about Ben Affleck next. Ben Affleck has never said he's done playing Batman. He never said that. And I challenge anybody to show me any proof where he said he was done. If you go back to the original Jimmy Kimmel thing, he kept talking about The Batman. The Batman. The film that he was trying to make the standalone movie that Warner Brothers completely butchered and turned into something else. His movie has never been seen, and I'm hoping with these regime changes that we may finally see his film, because the insiders who have read his script said it is the best Batman script that has ever been put on paper and for film. He's never said he's done playing Batman. Yes, he said he was putting the finishing touches on that character with The Flash. But if you've seen my video with the Flash leaks, they definitely opened the door at the end. And even Grace Randolph said this, that they are opening the door for them to come back. And sure enough, all of a sudden Ben Affleck comes back for Aquaman 2. If they're going to do a complete reboot and get rid of these characters, why in the world would he even bother to come back and reshoot the scenes that Michael Keaton had done for Aquaman 2? He could have easily just said, no, I'm done, we're moving on. But that's not the case. He is actually back, and this is the second time he's come back after everyone said he's done. Well, actually the third time, because he came back for some scenes for Zack Snyder's Justice League. He actually is back for the Flash movie, and now he's going to be in Aquaman 2. So that's just stop. Stop. Until Warner Brothers comes out and says otherwise, he's still the DCEU Batman and will continue to be the DCEU Batman. Let's talk about Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill isn't done either. There were reports out today that apparently Warner Brothers Discovery had approached him and he didn't want to come back. He declined to come back as Superman, which is a lie, okay? I can tell you right now, not true. We have a whole new regime in place. None of the old people that were standing in the way of all of these guys, and this is why Ben Affleck is back. And Henry Cavill has specifically said on numerous occasions, and you can actually find these video clips online where people ask him about Superman, and he says the cape is still in the closet. And he has always wanted to play this character long term. He could still play this character for another 20 years easily if that's what they wanted to do. So I don't believe that he's done either. All of these guys, I believe, are coming back. This is going to be the Trinity going forward. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But all the proof leads to the fact that these people are here to stay and that Discovery is going to build upon this. And let's talk about Zack Snyder last. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video. What's really interesting is Zack Snyder has never stopped caring about the DC Universe. If you haven't, and you are curious about where I get a lot of his information, a lot of stuff that he talks about, join the social media app called Vero, V-E-R-O. He posts on there all the time, and he just posted something last week where he said, I'm in Batman's car, and I'm taking it for a spin, and he was in one of the cars that they used in the film. So he has never moved on. And in fact, last November, and this is why I think he's been doing stuff behind the scenes, and I'm going to explain my reasoning behind this and why I believe this is happening. He posted for Thanksgiving a turkey dinner going in the oven, and in the background you could clearly see it was all framed up for the camera as it's floating around, and this is on the video that I posted. It had Final Crisis, the actual, graphic novel with some notepads underneath it, some thick notepads. Why would he have that? I honestly think that he is going to be able to finish up his story with a Final Crisis type event. This was back in November, okay? The talks for Discovery taking over happened a long time before this, and this merger took place in March. Well, it was recently revealed that Horn that they're bringing in, I forget his first name, I think it's Tom Horn or whatever, Ron Horn, whatever his name is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they talked about him. He was approached over 6 months ago. These talks have been going on for over 6 months. David Zaslav said before the merger happened that he's been lining up the talent. He's been talking with people. He's been having meetings because he wants to hit the ground running and he wants to put a plan in place. The only thing that is not in place right now is who is going to be. Horn is going to be part of this overall thing, but he's not going to be the head of the DC Films category. They have yet to choose somebody who is going to be that person. Is it going to be Snyder? Who knows? Maybe Snyder will come back. I don't know personally. If he does, he doesn't have to be the director, but they could easily continue on with a Man of Steel too. This, no matter how you look at it, that is continuing the Snyderverse, stuff that he already set up. They pivoted away from the garbage that was coming out, and they've trimmed all of the fat and the fluff that wasn't going to be profitable and nobody really asked for, and they want to focus on their main core characters again, and hopefully we can get a true Justice League within the next 3 to 4 years where we get a Green Lantern. Maybe they'll have Adam in there. Who knows? We will find out shortly. There is definitely stuff happening behind the scenes. This whole thing last week got me pretty jazzed up, and you do have to watch what people say because it's very telling. Again, David Zaslav did not say that they are resetting. He said they have already had the reset. They have reset everything. We're going to see what happens. Time will tell. But I do believe that these three are here to stay. I do believe Zack Snyder is going to be involved in some way, whether it's writing, producing, whatever. But I do believe we're going to get a finish to his storyline. And for more proof, this is crazy. On HBO Max, the current DC stuff, for all the promotional materials, are Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, and they're even promoting Zack Snyder's Justice League. And during that presentation, David Zaslav did have a graphic from Zack Snyder's Justice League, not from the 2017 version. And there are rumors that The Flash is being pushed way back, even beyond Aquaman, because they want to change the third act to coincide more with what happened with Zack Snyder's Justice League and to get it to all match up. There are definitely things happening, and anybody who denies this at this stage is crazy. You could show me one thing where Ben Affleck said this or one person did that, but I'm giving a bunch of proof from a bunch of different places that point to a whole different outcome, and I believe that that's what's happening. Could I be wrong? There's always a possibility I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, and we're going to find out shortly. What do you guys think is going on behind the scenes?